Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast finally. Oh, shit. And I mean that literally. But first, as always, I want to thank you for liking, watching, subscribing, and commenting. And if you're over there listening on the Anchor.fm, Spotify, Google Podcast, or some other audio-only streaming service, I want to thank you for listening as well. Every listen, every watch, every subscription brings me closer to my goal of world domination. And let's face it, if that's not your goal in life, what are we even doing here? I don't know. But I have a story to tell, my friends, a little story. And first I want to start out by saying that if this is your first time listening or watching, I live in Cambodia. And that has a little bit to do with this story, so hear me out. For the past day and a half, I've had a little problem with the plumbing inside, if you know what I mean. Like food would go in, it would get processed, the nutrients would be taken out, the rest would be deposited into my bowels. But the second half of that equation, the part where it's supposed to at some point come out, was not functioning well, sending my stomach into a topsy-turvy mess. I was constipated. But surely we can think of a better way to describe it than just that word. That's a pretty sad-sounding word, constipated. Nobody wants to hear that. But anyway, that's what it was. Now, today when I woke up, what I was going to do is head to the store and buy something to alleviate that situation, something that would help get the something moving along again, and let it flow out with ease, like a river that gets unblocked, and then the water just flows freely, that kind of thing. But I made a mistake, friends. Before I left, I wanted to get something to eat, and so I got me a package of ramen noodles. I didn't want nothing heavy because everything was pretty much full in there already, but I was hungry. So I got some ramen noodles. Now, this package of ramen noodles was, it was from South Korea. It was yellow, but it had like red flames on it, and the wording simply said, spicy chicken flavor. I didn't think nothing of it, because if you're from the United States, like I was, I've been fooled before with that. Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. If you've ever tasted it, you know that's not spicy. That is not even as spicy as a jalapeno. It's nothing. It's just, maybe you get a little something at some time, but certainly not enough to call home about. Because why would you call home about a chicken sandwich? That's pretty sad. But still, it's nothing. You go to Taco Bell, you get the hottest sauce they have, and it's just glorified ketchup, right? So I'm used to that kind of advertising, the hyping up how spicy it is. So I didn't think anything of it. So I cooked it, and in my first bite, I realized I had been bamboozled here because it was way, way more spicier than almost anything I've ever eaten before. I mean, this was the real deal. This was spicy. Like immediate heat in your mouth, on your lips, 2 bites in, I'm starting to tear up a little bit. My nose is starting to run a little bit. And about halfway through, I realized I think I had made a mistake with my the bowel situation, and then eating this. I realized I had made a mistake, but I finished it up. I went out. I went to a friend's house first, and while we were over there, I was standing on the balcony, and I was like, oh, man, my stomach started doing the flippy-flop thing, the twisting and the turning and the churning, and I was in some intestinal discomfort. Now, I don't know about you, but when you're at a friend's house, you don't want to do that to his toilet. I think that's the rudest thing you can do. Even though if he says it's okay, go ahead. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is not your normal pump and dump and pump. This is something completely altogether different. So I headed home. We got home about 8 o'clock. And about 8:30, it happened. I was ready to rumble. The if that would have been a prize fight, it would have been called the the jewel for the bowl, or something like that. The growl for the bowl. And I proceeded to do my business. Now, I'm not one of these guys to brag about the size of their, nasty business. I know a lot of people say, they'll take pictures of it, send it to their friends as, haha, look at this, look what I just did. I was never like that. But this one, I got to admit, I was kind of proud of when it was done. Like it was like a mountain. It was like really wide at the bottom, but then instead of sloping downward, it just kind of kept going up. I think if I would have pooped any more, it would have been touching my asshole a little bit. I was looking at it, and I thought about that movie, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. If you remember that, where the guy, Richard Dreyfuss, he always sees that mountain, Devil's Mountain, in like his mashed potatoes. He takes a fork, he starts carving his mountain of mashed potatoes with it. Unfortunately, my girlfriend wouldn't let me take a fork and try to do that, as she wouldn't give me permission to do that even for the joke, because that would have been a good post, I think. But that's what it was. So I let it go. I decided to flush. And that's where the bad thing happened, my friends. Cambodian toilets are not made to handle a load like that. All right? The toilets aren't made to handle a load like that. The sewer system is not made to handle a load like that. Even the girls are not meant to handle a big load. Hey, look at that, a poop joke, or a sex joke within a poop joke. Hey, I'm on fire tonight. So is my asshole. But, and so the water, instead of going down, proceeded to come up. And I used all my mental abilities to tell it to stop right there. Do not go over the edge. Luckily, it did not. However, now we have a situation. I don't have a plunger. The landlords are either gone or they were sleeping. The whole area was dark. Everything is locked up. No noise, no people around like normal. And I don't know what to do. I took a little metal coat hanger, the ones I've been saving to start my inevitable backstreet alley abortion business, because that's what one does. And I unraveled it and I stuck it down there, trying not to get too close to the floaters on top, and I was plunging it with that coat hanger, trying to get out any blockage, and it worked a little bit. I mean, it started to go down, but very, very slowly. And so right now, as I'm speaking, inside my bathroom, it's low enough now, but it's still kind of a shitty situation, and I mean that literally. I got to wait till tomorrow now, get a hold of my landlord, get a plunger, finish the job. Oh, man. And nobody here is happy about it, because I have to be like, okay, listen, it's low enough. You can go in there. If you have to take a piss, go ahead and take a piss. For God's sakes, even in the middle of the night, do not forget this very important thing. Do not flush, because otherwise the tides will rise, and not even Moses parting the Red Sea is going to be able to handle what happens if the overflow happens. It's going to be like a volcano of shit. And that's never a good thing. So that was my day. But speaking of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and that is a weird segue, but that's how we do it here. I want to talk about this alien report that came out. That's right, the United States government gave their official word on aliens. And I'm not talking about the kind that dig through tunnels or climb over fences or throw drugs over a wall to get in or anything like that. I mean the kind from outer space. And I know there were a lot of conspiracy theorists and people who really, really believe in this. They wanted the definitive word from the government. A few days ago, I was reading articles. People were all pumped for it, saying this is going to change the way we think about the world, and this is going to be groundbreaking news, and the truth is finally going to be revealed. And then the report came out, and basically, it's a nothing burger. It's nothing. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. The government said basically most of the instances they have of these things can be explained with some natural phenomena. The ones that can't, they just say, we don't know what they are, but we don't think they're aliens, really. They didn't actually say they're not aliens, but they're just like, there's probably a reason for it. We just have to study it further. And even though it was a long report, they could have just said that and saved themselves a bunch of pages and a bunch of people getting all hyped up. And, well, you know, aliens, there's no proof or evidence of them existing, beings from other planets visiting ours. And yet people will swear, you know, they've been kidnapped, they've been probed. Some women even say they've been taken up in a spaceship and they've had sex with aliens, and now their baby is half human, half alien, which sounds like something out of the National Enquirer or Weekly World News or something like that. But people insist that this has happened to them. So it's all kind of weird, but the government says, it's nothing. Nothing that can't be explained naturally. But it does make me wonder, why do we always assume, when we're talking about things like aliens from outer space that, again, have no proof or evidence of their existence, why do we always assume that they are way smarter than us? Why do we assume that they are so far advanced, more than us? Like they have these rocket ships, you know, that defy gravity, that can travel at 1,000 light speed per second or whatever it is, you know, and that they can just flit around all these universes in a blink of an eye and communicate telepathically, you know. No need for talk, man. We can read each other's minds. Why do we always assume they're way more intelligent than us? Let's assume there is life on other planets, and they're you know, a human-like life, and maybe they're not even in the Wright brothers stage yet. Maybe there's some guy up there in some planet a couple galaxies away. He's seeing what passes for a bird on there, and right now he's trying to attach wings to his arms so he can flap them real fast while jumping off a cliff to his death. It could be, maybe there's a whole planet full of nothing but redneck like aliens. You know, they all live in like little alien trailer parks, and they're sitting there with their 30-pack of Strohs, you know, without a shirt, and their little hovercrafts are up on cinder blocks in their front yard. Maybe they're just all really stupid and way less advanced than us. Maybe they don't have schools there. We don't know because they don't exist. They've never been proven to exist, I should say. They might, but so far, no. But we always assume that they're way smarter than us, and I don't understand why. And we also assume what they look like, you know, the little gray aliens with a head, and people have described them, you know, because they come in contact, saying, you know, some are tall, some are short, some are fat, some are skinny, some have big heads with even bigger eyes. Sometimes the eyes are set wide apart, sometimes they're really close together, sometimes they have sharp teeth, and sometimes they don't have any mouth, and all kinds of crazy shit, right? And we always assume we know what they're going to look like. We know their intelligence level. And if they are real and they do ever get here, I think we're going to be very surprised. I think they're just going to be like, what the fuck is going on here? And I hope they bring a mask with them so they don't get the Rona. That's all I hope. Don't want to piss off our alien friends. But we make all these assumptions without any proof or evidence of anything. And I think it would just be funny if we do find life on other planets, and it's just some like, you know, Gomer Pyle type situation up there. You know, everybody up there acts like Barney Fife or Rain Man, or, you know, somebody like that. I think that would just be, I think that would be funnier. That's all I'm saying. And I know a couple of astrophysicists in the last few years, they've actually been very vocal, and they've said that there is a high mathematical probability that there is some kind of human-like life on other planets. And when they make statements like that, that's fine. They are scientists. But then when you go to UFO forums, they change it, right? They change the headline to scientists say aliens exist. And there's a big difference between a high mathematical probability and actually existing, because this is all theoretical at this point. It's like if you've ever played No Limit Texas Hold'em or any kind of Texas Hold'em, you know that you can have the highest mathematical probability of winning a hand and still lose at the last card if the guy you're playing against has two very specific cards that he has a 0.01% chance of actually having based on the odds, and yet he rolls them over. Yes, I'm very bitter about that hand. I had 4 8s and I lost to a straight flush, and I will never forget it. It's the worst beat of my life. You should always win with 4 of a kind. That's all I'm saying. Man, I'm pissed about that still. But anyway, there's a little update. My toilet situation, which you didn't want to hear. Oh, by the way, the ramen noodles were actually really tasty. That's the reason why I kept eating them. They were just tasty, but every bite brought pain and misery. It's kind of like when you're in an abusive relationship. It's like, it's pain and it's misery, but man, you just can't stop. I'm sure some of you know what that's like. But I'm sure you didn't want to hear it, and hopefully you're not eating when you're listening or watching, but if you are, should have put the warning ahead of time. Sorry I didn't. It's the way it goes. I'm old. My mind's going. And of course, the whole UFO thing, I'm telling you guys, don't fall for it. Wait for the evidence. Don't count on your Uncle Ned, the guy that lives in the shed. Nobody wants home to the family reunion, saying that he was taken up and he got probed. And Ali, he woke up with sleeping in the woods with a branch stuck up his ass. And he just got a little bit confused because he likes to drink the water from the air conditioner. You know what I mean? All right. If you're watching on the video, be sure to check out all my links down below. If you want to donate to me, I appreciate it. I always need money. And I will gladly accept yours, and I will send you a note of thank you if you do that. My PayPal address is down there. A live show app is down there. Absolutely free app. Download it. Listen to comedians. They do sets every day, 3 to 5 minutes, 3 times a day. You can participate if you want, but you don't have to. And like I said, it's absolutely free. Very funny people on there. Check that out. My other channel, my main channel, Dave Does Cambodia, that link is down below. Listen to that. Give it a like and a subscribe. I walk around. I don't even show my face that much on the video, which is to your benefit, but you can see all the lovely sights of Siem Reap, Cambodia, as I walk around and talk about what's happening here. All right. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, and listening, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. I'm going to need toilet paper after this.